Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy MFY Gaming here, coming back again today with something a little different. Today I'm going to be playing Grid Legends, a game which I recently picked up as a trial, and basically give my review and thoughts on what I think on it so far, and at the end I will give my opinion on whether I'm going to buy it or not. So let's get right into this. So, long story short, I basically used to play a lot of arcade racing games back in the day, such as Ridge Racer on the Xbox, including also the PlayStation version, as well as a few other old school racing games here and there. And basically I heard this game was coming out, and with the sheer drop of racing games at the moment, I figured I'd give this a try, and the trial option was there, so I figured why not. So I'm doing what just about everyone else has done, redeemed the EA trial thing, and probably going to get a refund in probably a few hours time. So, Grid Legends. This game is sort of set around some sort of racing career. It has a story mode which you'll basically drop straight into, which is somewhat fun and enjoyable. The scenes are very well sort of directed and the actors were very good. However, it can be a little cringy, and from what I've seen so far, I'm really enjoying it, and by no means am I saying it's a bad thing. It's just a interesting approach that you don't see in many video games. So in some ways I actually give them props for doing this, because it's actually really enjoyable, and so far I'm only about 7 missions in, and I'm really enjoying it, and I can't get past any further without purchasing the game. So it's definitely worth picking up the trial and playing this. It's really got about an hour, maybe an hour and a half worth of trial story in there, and it is very fun, especially if you ramp it up to the harder settings, as it can be very easy. But from what I've seen so far, I've enjoyed it. It looks really fun, and I'm kind of interested to see where it goes. However, I've also heard it's quite short, which is, again, fair enough. You're essentially playing a movie in this, but at the same time, it would be nice to have a bit of a longer story, but hey-ho. So the next sort of racing part of the game that you are invited to play is the career mode, which basically seems to be a series of races or little tournaments in specific set group of cars, and to be completely honest with you, it's actually really fun. I'm not too sure quite on how many races there will be on the further levels, because so far I haven't actually gone past them, because there's quite a few, but they're all actually really fun, and the arcadey element to it just feels right in this game. With the curbs and the uneven roads, it just feels really right, and also the turning around corners, it's a weird skill you have to get to it, and by no means am I saying I'm a good player on the game so far, but I would say I've at least got somewhat control on the slower end cars. But like I said, all these little tournaments all feature different cars. There's even an electric tournament which I found really fun, and it has these funny little boost feature things which can really change the way the race feels. But again, like I said, there are multiple different categories for this at the minute, and I've not got the ability to access them as of yet, but judging by some of the other cars on the game, it can get very hard. But so far, it seems generally quite easy, and it's quite good to go through, but I think it does set you up for the harder races coming later on in the game. And to be honest with you, there's not much more I can really say about these. They're all just a bunch of different events, including eliminations and circuit racing. There's even the special time trial events, which seem to be very fun. It's nice having all the cars spread out around the whole track, and it's quite a task to actually overtake them all. Whether there are more different race modes in the game as I progress, I'm not too sure as of yet, but so far, these three so far have been great fun to play. Now, the car selection on the game is generally quite good. I'm quite impressed with the amount of different cars and variation they have for different categories. Whether they bring more cars out in the DLC down the line, I'm sure they probably will. However, this is obviously just to be seen. But so far, the amount of car choices in the game seem really good, and there's a nice variation, and there's actually a bit of a grind to unlocking them, which I think is really good and not really a thing in racing games nowadays. I'm all for that old school Need for Speed sort of carbon grind to get cars. Obviously that's a very broad comparison, but it's also a similar type of grind to get to cars in this game. Alternatively, when you're in races, you can rent the cars and earn 50% of whatever you get at the end of the race. This is also very fun, but it's good to just try and do the races with your own cars, because you will notice the difference in money over time. And last but not least, there is a team sort of section to the game as well, which, to be honest with you, I've not really delved into, but looking around at some of the customization stuff you can do with your team is quite interesting, especially with the sort of sponsorships which require challenges to be complete. Not too sure exactly what these do once you complete them, but it's quite fun to actually try and grind and work towards something. That's another big factor in this game, in my opinion, is that everything you're doing is all progressing towards something, which feels actually really nice when you finish a race and you see that every single thing, such as your mileage, your XP, your money, everything going up. It just feels really nice, and it's good to see. But yes, so that's sort of my brief introduction to what I've had on the game so far and how I've enjoyed each sort of area, getting to know it so far, learning the game. Like I say, I am in the trial and I'm very hindered. I'm very, very early into the game, but I'm enjoying it very, very much so far, and I would definitely recommend picking up the trial yourself if you're up for doing the EA Play scam thingy. Now, am I going to buy this game? That's the main question. Yes, I think I will. I did ask a question on Reddit asking about the replayability to find out if there's much more in there after you've completed the story, and to my surprise everyone was saying they've played a lot of the game and they're still only got parts into it. So judging by that, I can definitely see that there's probably quite a lot of replayability and probably quite a grind to the game, which is always a bonus in games nowadays, especially racing ones such as Grid. So with that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and probably actually purchase the deluxe edition so I can get the DLC content in the future. And yeah, that's about it really. I just wanted to share my thoughts and opinions on this new game. I really enjoyed it. It's also something a bit different, and I fancied recording some sort of Xbox content for once. If you agree with me or disagree, put something in the comments. I'm open to all sorts of opinions. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.